This video gives you an overview of programmable interval timer. The chip number is 8253. We are going to cover architecture, interfacing, the control word register formats, and the various applications of programmable interval timer. It is not possible to generate arbitrary time delays precisely using the delay routines. 8253 is used to provide accurate time delays. The various applications of 8253 are: it is going to facilitate accurate time delays. A dedicated hardware is provided for generating delays, and this reduces the load of the processor. The dedicated hardware here are the three counters which can work independently. If we write software routines to generate the delays, that increases the load on the processor. Now 8253 can be used in various timing applications, right from traffic light controller to monitoring of sensors or any devices periodically. We can make use of 8253. This is the architecture of 8253. It comprises of three counters: counter 0, counter 1, counter 2. These three counters are 16-bit down counters which can work independently. There is a control word register available which is going to configure 825. The read-write logic block is essential to understand whether it is a read operation or a write operation that is happening. The address lines A0 and A1 identify the counter that is in use. These are connected to A1 and A2 lines of 8086. We have a 8-bit data line connected to the data bus buffer for communication between the 8086 and the 8253. Each counter has got two inputs, the clock and the gate. The clock pulse is the input clock pulse. Gate pulse is acting as a strobe to initiate the counting process, or it will act as a strobe signal to generate the out signal. Out is an output pin associated with each of the counters, out 0, out 1 and out 2, indicating what is the value of the output once the countdown process is completed. Now, as there are three different counters, how do we select the counters? Or at any instance of time, how do we understand which of the counters is in use? This can be done using the A0 and A1 lines. These values, if they are 0, 0, counter 0 is selected, and likewise if the values are 1, 1, we are referring to the control word register. Next we'll look at the control word register format. As there are three counters, we need 2 bits to select the counters. SC1 and SC0 will help me to select the counters. If at all I want counter 0, these 2 bits should be 0. If at all I want counter 2, the value should be 1, 0. 1, 1 indicates it is a read back command which is essential for read operations. The next 2 bits, that is RW1 and RW0, indicates the way the value of the count has to be loaded on the counters. 0, 0 indicates we are going to latch the counter on fly. Now, what is the meaning of latch the counter on the fly? This is one of the special features of 8253, using which we can look at the status of the count, or we can look at the current value of the count without inhibiting or without stopping the countdown process. If the value of RW bits is 0, 1, indicates we read or write least significant byte only. 1, 0 indicates we write the most significant byte, and 1, 1 indicates we are going to load LSB first, that is least significant byte first, and then the most significant byte. The next 3 bits M2, M1, M0 indicate the mode in which the 8253 is operating. 8253 operates in 6 different modes, from mode 0 to mode 5. So the bit combinations of M2, M1, M0 indicate in which mode 8253 is operating in. There is one more flexibility available in 8253, that is, gives us a flexibility of doing the down counting process either in BCD or in hex. Accordingly, the LSB bit has to be set to 0 or 1. Next, we will look at the interfacing of 8253 with 8086. 8253 can be interfaced with 8086 using the data bus, address bus and the control bus. As we know, the address lines in A1 and A2 of 8086 will be connected to A0, A1 address lines of 8253. Read bar and the write bar are the two control lines which are essential. 8-bit data bus, that is D0 to D7, is essential to interface 8253 with 8086. The chip select is going to be generated by a decoder which is going to make use of M/IO bar line and also the address lines A0 and A1, with which 8253 is going to be selected. What are the various operating modes of 8253? We will have a brief overview of the operating modes of 8253. Mode 0 is interrupt on terminal count. Once the countdown is started and the count reaches 0, an interrupt is going to be generated. A monoshot pulse is going to be generated in mode 1 once the count reaches 0. Mode 2 is called as rate generator, where a continuous pulse is going to be generated once the count has reached 0. Mode 3 is a square wave generator. If the value of the count is let's say 4 for 2 pulses, the out pin will be high, and for the next 2 pulses the out pin will be low. Mode 4 is called as software triggered strobe, and mode 5 is hardware triggered strobe. The countdown process will begin in both the cases with the help of a strobe signal, and in both the cases the gate is going to act as a strobe signal. The details of operating modes of 8253 will be covered in the next video. Now let's take an example on how to program 8253. The example we are going to consider is design a programmable timer using 8253, which is running at 1.5 MHz and 8086 is running at 6 MHz. We want to interface 8253 at an address C0 hex for counter 0. Now we'll have to write the ALP to generate a square wave, and period is given as 1 millisecond, and we need to interrupt the processor after every 10 milliseconds. Now we can scaffold the solution by listing out the steps which we need to follow when coming to the solution. The first step is design the CWR, then find the value of the count that needs to be loaded to the counter, then we write the ALP. When we are writing the ALP, the first and foremost step is configure 8253 using the CWR, which we have designed as part of step 1, then load the value of the count which has been determined as part of step 2. This is the steps, or the solution can be scaffolded into so many steps so that you can reach to the solution quickly. Now, how do we design the CWR for square wave generation? First part of the problem is square wave generation. We are selecting counter 0, so the first 2 bits are 0 0. Select counter bits are 0 0. The next 2 bits are RW bits, which we are selecting as 1 1, indicating we are going to load the value of the count with least significant byte loaded first and then the most significant byte. The next 3 bits are going to indicate the mode in which 8253 has to operate. Now we know square wave generation is mode 3, so these bits will be set to 0 1 1. The last bit indicates we want the counting in BCD or hex. Now we are selecting BCD, so this bit is set as 1. So the value of the CWR is 3737. Now how to find the value of the count for the given problem? We need a square wave of period 1 millisecond. So the value of the count can be determined as the ratio of time period of the output wave to the time period of the input wave. Now what is the time period of the input wave? It is the time period of the clock pulse that is given to 8253. The frequency of 8253 is been quoted as 1.5 MHz. So you can determine the time period by using the frequency. So 1 millisecond upon 1.5 megahertz, which is going to give the time period of the 8253. Now this will give me a count of 1500 states. If I want a square wave of period 1 millisecond, the value of the count that is to be loaded is 1500 states. Now the next step, as we have seen in the previous slide, is write the ALP. So the first part of writing the ALP is configuring the 8253 by writing the CWR. Now what are the addresses that we are going to use to configure 8253? Now if the address of the counter 0 is given as C0, C1 will have the address C2 and counter 2 will have the address C4 and CWR will have the address C6. The addresses are going to be incremented by 2 every time because A0 pin of 8253 is connected to A1 address line of 886. The next two steps, we are going to load the value of the count. Now how we are going to load the value of the count is decided by these two bits, which says load least significant byte first. So 1500 is the value of the count, 00 is the least significant byte which has to be loaded on counter 0. The address of counter 0 is C0. Next we'll have to load the most significant byte of the count value 1500, which is 15, which is to be loaded on counter 0. So this is the ALP with which we are configuring 8253 to generate a square wave. Once you run the program, your 8253 will generate the square wave. The next part of the application is we need to generate an interrupt signal on reaching the terminal count, and this is mode 0 of 8253. So let's say we are using counter 1 here. We are loading the value of the count in the same way as we have done in the previous example. The mode is 000. Now here we are going for a hex counting. Why we are going for a hex counting? Because the value of the count in decimal is 15,000, which is extending beyond 16 bit. So that's why we convert this to hex, which gives us a value of 3A98. So we can, now this is a 16 bit hex value. So using this value we can do the countdown process. So that's why the hex bit, the counting is done in hex here, and this hex bit is set to 0. Now as in the previous example, the next step is write the ALP. We start with configuring 8253 by writing the CWR. The CWR is 7070 hex here as determined in step 1. Next is load the value of the count. We have said we are going to load it by loading LSB first and then MSB. So LSB of the count is 98, which is to be loaded on counter 1. Counter 1 address is C2, and then we load the MSB 3A onto the same counter C2. So by writing this ALP and executing this ALP, we are setting 8253 in mode 0, where an interrupt pulse. So once the value of the count is loaded, that is 98 3A98 onto the counter 1, and we execute this program, the 8253 will be configured in mode 0, wherein an interrupt signal is going to be generated after the countdown process reaches 0. So this is how your 8253 can be used for generating accurate time delays. Thank you.